This is the final table of our All-Out Poker tournament. We have a ton of new faces here today, as well as some returning ones, like Mike, who is our biggest stack at the table, with 30% of the chips at 306,000. Ben, a newcomer, is in second place with 21% of the chips at 213K. We have a ton of small stacks at this table, and it will not be long before we see a few all-ins. Let's get into some action. The blinds are 2,000, 4,000 with a 4,000 big blind ante. Usually the first hand at the final table is always the tightest. Looks like the first two players fold. Actions to Mark, who gets ace-jack suited. Makes it 12K to go. That is also one of the small stacks here. He's going to make the call with 9-8 suited on the big blind.
You have 12 left? No, you're big blind. 12-5 behind. Yeah, I got 12-5 behind. That was your big ante. That's mine.
He put in over half of his stack with this hand. Both players miss. Mark's still with the best hand with ace high.
All-in says 103.
Shoves his remaining stack into the pot. Matt quickly folds.
Oh shit, you're gonna know what I had?
Like Mike's under the gun. He folds. Actions back to Mark. He has 10-5 offsuit. Lets it go. Mike limps in with king-queen offsuit. Looks like Simon makes it 15K to go with king-jack offsuit. Right on the cutoff. Tim with ace-jack on the big blind. 3.5K in his stack. Looks like he's hesitating here. He's going to shove his remaining stack in there, but no, he lets it go. Mike, the guy that everybody wants at their home game, makes the call. Pretty dry board for both hands. Mike has a backdoor flush draw with the king of hearts. Simon's going to make a continuation bet here. Makes it 25. Continuation bet gets through. Mike lets it go.
Oh, you have two cards? Yep. Top one goes to... He already has it.
Looks like the cards are sticking a little bit.
That's fine. That's exactly what I was talking
Gonna end up having a card reader error here.
Good example.
Gonna read the wrong hands.
It's okay. I can fix it in that.
Looks like Jesse lets it go. You guys don't get any really good hands anyway. It's not gonna really affect anything. The action is to Mark, who makes it 12 to go.
35-5.
Although we don't know what he has for his hand here, but Tim shoves his remaining stack in here with ace-king. Sure, he's actually probably hoping for a call at this point. Still unsure what Mark has. And he lets it go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh. It's like dealer's making a couple mistakes.
All right, Reddit.
it's been him the whole time.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Multiple accounts.
Yeah, exactly.
Players poking fun at the Reddit comments. How poor of a dealer that I am. Yes, I also do the commentating. Simon makes it 12 to go with king 7 suited. Glad to see these new players are not shy to get involved in some pots. I say new players to this game, not new players to the game. It's like Mike calls. So he goes check, check on the flop. Simon with his king high, still the best hand. Turns out 25 on there. Takes down that pot.
Something like to do, to bring them somewhere, you know what I mean? Everyone looks at
Make sure the windows are clean. Not yet.
Mark here with king queen offsuit.
That is 13.
Makes it 13 this time instead of the regular 12 that he's been doing. Looks like it's still going to get some respect though. But Mike gets ace king on the button. Unfortunate situation for Mike.
It says 10-5.
Mike ends up calling.
Give a small blind, right?
Jesse shoves all in with king jack offsuit.
Take 2,000 back.
His king is crushed here in this situation.
So yeah, all in.
Although it puts Mark into a
18. Take 5 more. That's it.
5 more, yeah.
My only option, or I can fold.
pretty much an instant call here. Neither player can make a raise.
Good luck all in, man. Good luck.
I'm not cheering for you.
Jesse's gonna need some help here, or he's gonna end up getting eliminated from this tournament. And there's the jack on the flop.
What's the other? Is that a 10?
He gets lucky and hits the jack on the flop. Now he just needs to avoid hitting a queen or an ace. It's a 70% to win this pot.
Says 49.
Looks like we might have an all-in here. Or maybe he's just announcing his stack. Mark did ask him how much he had behind. May end up being a little bit confusing here.
Yeah, 45-5,
Are you counting or are you betting?
No, you asked me how much I had.
Oh, I see.
You check?
Yeah.
Oh, what a strange situation that is.
I just-
I don't know if that's an angle or not. You guys can decide down in the comments.
I thought it was betting too.
Going check, check. Jesse with the check mark.
Check.
A nice triple up from these three players. There we go. Look at that. Puts Jesse at 12 big blinds. Puts him right back into this game. Still not in terrible shape. He is about average stack. Got Mark here now under the gun in the next hand.
Yeah, I don't
It's like Mike limps in early position. Matt shoves his remaining stack into the pot with pocket sixes. 10.5K. Really can't find any kind of a better situation than this. Though we don't know what Mike has in his hand. Having a little bit of a reader error. So we got ourselves a classic race. Mike needs a queen or a jack, and there it is. Jack comes down on the flop yet again. Matt is going to need some help. He doesn't get there.
Termination.
That is our first elimination at this final table. Ends up getting in 10th place. No prize money though. Looks like we're had a little bit of a problem entering Mike's hand into the reader. Looks like Mike limps in. 6-4 offsuit under the gun.
That does sound exactly like that. Probably what it is.
The parrot in the background is mimicking the blinds going up.
Oh, sorry.
Really trying to do anything to throw these players for a loop. Looks like we're going to have a four-way pot here. But Mark gets pocket nines on the big blind.
15 more.
15K more to go. Tim probably regretting limping in here with ace-8 offsuit. Looks like it's going to get the respect. Mark takes down that pot.
It was another one.
Looks like it gets folded around to Jesse here. Gets pocket threes. He limps in.
Oh, yeah, I did say it.
Yeah, I do both, yeah. I do last pitch and check.
Worked last time.
Looks like Mark is betting in the small blind. Makes it 19 to go.
Yeah, it's kind of, I've been doing it for 8 years.
Mike
so
quickly
it's,
calls in the big blind.
right, like this.
Actions to Jesse now. 43.5K left in his stack. Is he just going to put it all in, or is he going to
Softball in the winter and softball in the
try to see a flop here?
this year. Baseball's really busy down there. It's like
Shoves all in.
230 games.
43.5K. Mark quickly calls. Mike lets it go.
I do 4 nights a night, 3 nights a week.
Got ourselves another flip here. Jesse is ahead in this pot. He's got 52%.
So I got him under Friday 8 to 4 type of thing.
Mike did throw away 2 diamonds. Jesse still ahead. Oh, the club comes down. Now Jesse has club outs. Jesse doubles up yet again. Puts him right in 4th place here now. It's at 118K. 12% of the chips on the table. Philip shoving all in here. Perfect situation. Ace, king suited. See those diamonds again. It's like everyone's just going to give him the respect here. Philip takes down that pot. Actions to Tim here under the gun.
51, guys.
Decides that it's time.
51.5, yeah.
King Jack offsuit. 51.5K. Mike folds the king queen. Oh, and Mark wounds up with queens. Looks like he shoves all in. Imagine the players are just gonna
Heads up.
get away from that.
The dishwashers.
He's got the dishwashers. We got a couple of confused faces there. Probably have never heard that one before.
Tim's face when you said that.
Tim's gonna need a king here.
Sometimes they hit, sometimes
Ooh,
I feel like I know what you said.
there's the queen. He's chasing a 10 for a straight. Doesn't get it. Tim, our second elimination of this tournament,
Termination.
ends up getting in 9th place. Looks like Mark has increased his stack up to 138k. Ends up bumping up to 4th place.
Oh no, the comments say
I don't like that comment.
I've already have 2 eliminations here. Who is going to be the third one? It's like he's got King Jack offsuit. He's got 41.5k. He's very short. Blinds are 3,000, 6,000 now with a 6,000 big blind ante. Under 10 big blinds here. I think he's just got to get it in. Looks like he just flat calls. Mark here with Queen 9. He flats as well. As does Mike.
somebody's so wrong. Yeah, like I find these ones are hard to tell apart. Yeah, I'm a.
It's like big blind checks behind. 2 spades down on the board. No one's on the flush draw. Mike's got the king of spades.
That'll be your range, right? Check.
There we go. There's the 9 for Mike. Big blind special. 33.5k. All in. He's got to go after that pot. It's practically a double up for him. Mark calls as well, but he's out kicked with that 9.
Said 33.5.
It's like some of the chip stacks are off.
20, 30, 32, 35, yes.
Not that five.
Got ourselves an all-in situation. Mike's gonna get away. Mark is looking for the queen. He's got 3 outs.
Dishwasher can stay in the kitchen on this one.
Doesn't get it. Mike gets a nice little double up. Putting him at 100k now. 16 big blinds. Puts him right back into this game. Still have 2 very short stacks. Guy and Philip at 5 big blinds. Philip is in the big blind now. He's got to pay that big blind ante. That one's going to hurt. Mark shoves all in with 10-3 offsuit. Very unusual all in. Mike contemplating a call here with king-queen offsuit. He makes the fold. Mark's really putting some pressure back onto those blinds. Mike just got those chips. Imagine he's not going to want to get it in. Actions to Philip now. It's 21k. I think he's just got to put it in here. King Jack offsuit. Can't ask for a better situation. You just got to take your chances. And he lets it go. He had already a third of his stack into the pot. And he let it go. He's going to be a little bit disgusted seeing Mark's 10-3 offsuit. Watching this one back. Mark trying to bully this table around here. Makes it 20 to go. Simon's had enough. He makes the call. Jesse folds the queen too. Lets his big blind and ante go. Ooh, Simon spikes mid-pair. See if Mark's going to try to take a stab at it. He's out of position. I think he checks over to Simon. Who checks as well. Playing it a little bit safe. Mark looking for a 9 for a straight. He's only got 2 left in the deck, as we can see at the top right of the screen. Simon makes it 25 to go. Mark looks like he's thinking. Oh, catches everybody off guard.
I didn't even see it.
I didn't even see it either. I didn't see him fold. But that's good. We're just moving right to the next spot. As we do here on All Out Poker. See if Mark's going to want to play this King 6. Looks like he limps in under the gun. Probably trying to change it up a little bit. Mike ends up calling. Pretty interesting flop here. Mike has the best hand here with King 10. Looks like it's getting checked around. Ooh, that now gives Guy a flush draw. Looks like Mike C also has the flush draw here. Looks like he makes a 13K bet. Might be able to get the rest of these players off this pot. Looks like it's working so far. He's got the 9 high flush draw. He lets it go. It's hard to continue in that pot with such a short stack. There's a paired board out there too, which probably makes him a little bit nervous. But Mike ends up taking down that pot with 4 high. Mike limps in under the gun. Ace 10. He finally wakes up with a hand here with pocket jacks. He's only got 20K behind. Imagine he's gonna... Mike instant calls. Here we go. Great situation for Guy. Although his tournament life is on the line here. Just needs to fade an ace. Ooh, there's a 10 on the board, giving Mike a few more outs. Needs an ace or 10, and he doesn't get it. Guy doubles up. These short stacks are really doubling up in these games. We'll see that actually puts Guy still 9 big blinds, 59K, still in rough shape. Philip is in extremely rough shape at 3 big blinds.
They gotta pick up the cans right now to bring this.
Action's a Simon here. Ben folds. I don't think we've seen Ben play a pot yet. Mike makes it 12 to go, makes a min raise. It's folded around. Mike's not going anywhere. Calls with 6-5.
Does this read well for Omaha as well?
Huh?
Does it read well for Omaha as well? Or
Yep.
is it the same software or different software for the gameplay?
Ooh, Mike hits an open-ended on the flop.
Yeah, we did a couple hands.
Going check, check. Pair of fives now for Mike. Oh, there's two Mikes here. This is going to get confusing. Mike C here with King Jack checks. Looks like Mike with the pair of fives fires out 20K. Pot size bet takes down the pot.
I think I played one hand since I started.
Ace 10 suited for Mike in early position. Makes it 12K. Continuing with that small ball approach. He ends up folding ace 4 suited. We're going to have a Mike versus Mike battle yet again. Mike C calls with 9-2 offsuit. Simon calls with King 2 offsuit. All the players miss. Mike with the ace 10 has the best hand, goes check, check, check. There we go. There's a 10 on the turn. Mike hits a pair. The original better in this pot. Imagine he's going to fire out something.
That's 25.
Fires out 25K. Can't see any of the players continuing here. He might just take down this pot, which he does. Nice little good sized pot for Mike in early position. Ooh, Jesse finally gets a hand here with ace king. He's got 100K behind. Looks like he fires out a bet.
28.
Fires out 28K. Looks like Mark shoves all in.
72.5 all in. Oh, wait.
He's not going to like this situation here. Going to have ace 10 versus ace king. Jesse quickly calls. Got a 70-30 here. Mark is going to need some help on this flop. Ooh, Mark hits a gut shot. Now he needs a king, and he hits the king on the turn, giving him the straight.
Yeah, he got 100K.
Jesse
So I think he actually
takes a bad beat. Very unfortunate for this tournament. Jesse now down, crippled, down to 4 big blinds. Mark is back up to 160K. He's in 4th place again. Unbelievable, terrible card for Jesse. Definitely didn't want to see that king on the turn.
Oh shoot, blind up front. 8,000. Maybe not for a while. Maybe that's what is screwing everything up.
Simon makes it 25 to go here with ace queen suited. Keys look like he's contemplating an all in here. He's really just got to pick his spot and get it in. He lets it go. Simon hits top pair. Mike hits a low end straight draw. Needs a jack. Although there's only 3 left in the deck. Simon fires out 30K and Mike's going to get rid of it. Simon taking down yet another pot. Actions to Jesse here. Let's go the 6-3. Mark folds ace-8. Mike limps in. Simon limps in. Seeing Ben here with King 10 suited. This is the first pot we're seeing him play. He limps in on the button. Philip shoves his remaining 2,000 into this pot.
Nobody believes you in life.
No respect. No respect at all.
Oh, looks like we had a dealer error. What were you thinking?
That's the first time I've done this since I've been here.
Looks like that ace is going to have to go back in the deck.
Back in the deck. Right.
That's gonna go back out, but
Yeah, the river becomes the turn.
betting round first, and then that gets washed in for the river.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've done something like that. Sorry guys, my apologies.
Oh, yeah, so does the
Very unfortunate event. Looks like Reddit was right.
So the river card becomes the turn card, and then that card gets.
Hopefully Reddit doesn't get a hold of this clip.
Yeah.
That's how it's technically
Yep,
supposed to be.
Our poor dealer will get blasted yet again.
What if somebody bets now and takes it down, it doesn't matter?
Mike C and Ben both have a flush draw.
It's 171.5.
Ben shoves all in with king high.
Maybe, yeah, but
Maybe like 100.
41% to win this pot. He's looking for a heart.
for that, like 90.
Mike already has 2 of them though.
So 50.
70, 75, 78.
So 20, 30, 40, 60.
Ben really putting some pressure onto these players here.
85, 86.
Looks like Mike's thinking about calling. It's a great spot for Mike though. He's got a gut shot as well. Those hearts are not going to help him. See, Philip has one of those 5s as well.
It's gonna be a big pot.
Got ourselves a big pot brewing here.
Wow.
Now Ben is at risk.
Hearts.
Alright, so 2.
That's why. 3, 5.
Oh,
I don't know.
Just
Got ourselves a 3-way all in here.
Okay, so I already burned. Right.
We have to burn before they go
Right, because that has to be.
burn,
Yeah.
river.
Right. Now it's
And now wash them in, don't burn.
Everyone else is still nothing to know.
Looks like our river is going to be
Just cut it and then.
shuffled up here to try to get that ace of diamonds back into the pot.
It doesn't matter if you flash it, because everybody's over it.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, that's a good point.
Fuck, okay, so if you could deal. No real deal, I would.
Yeah, shuffle this little card.
So then, and
Okay, cut.
c'est ça passe pas.
Ace of diamonds.
Nope. Ben ends up taking down this pot here with king high.
See who wins the side.
Good to go. Yeah.
Huge pot for Ben, 230k. Still wins that pot with king high. Wow.
10 there.
Termination.
That eliminates Philip in 8th place.
I would have had to turn that ace.
Well, even though it's up, it's nice.
I was aggressive with you earlier there. It was fun. You're giving me discounts.
Action to you, yes.
Mike on the button. Lets it go. It's up to the blinds.
Yourself, you're a big blind guy.
I say blinds with an S, but the only blind that was in that pot was Jesse's, since we had a dead small.
I can change. I
So
can
I'm first.
You are. Yeah. Way too many problems
It's like Mark calls, 6-3 suited. Mike calls as well. Gets folded around to Jesse in the small blind.
No.
Who lets it go?
Oh, yes, sorry. Yeah. Check. Bet. Check.
Three-way pot here. He hits a pair of tens.
action here. It's 10 of diamonds, 5 of clubs.
Mike C's got a gut shot. Looking for a 9 here.
Check. Is this on three? Yeah.
5 of spades.
It's Key deciding his time. Looks like he fires out a small 15K bet.
That's the bet.
Everybody folds. He still wins that pot.
There's our new hand.
Yeah, it's right on. Oh. Yeah, sorry. It's just a little bit,
Hiding.
Game just got a little hard.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I guess. You just have to make it a scorecard now.
Mike not realizing it was his turn.
Oh,
Jesse decides to put it all in. Ace 7 offsuit.
47?
Great situation to put it in. Everybody folded. Definitely a nice pot to pick up. Stealing those blinds and antes. The blinds are 4,000, 8,000 now with an 8,000 big blind ante. It is getting expensive. These small stacks are going to get chipped away. Mark shoved it all in. 9-3 offsuit. Takes down the pot. And getting folded around to Mark on the button. Is he going to try to steal these blinds? Nope, he lets go. The Jack 2 suited. Mike with 8-3 calls.
call, yeah.
Absolutely crushed by Simon with King 8.
You should have 8,000.
Yeah.
It's like he fired out 15K and Mike quickly folded. Certainly not a very talkative game. Most of these players have never really met outside of this game. Mike's got the pocket sevens. Raising the price here to 25 to go.
Oh, there's a big 5 left on the table.
Ace 5 suited for Jesse. Is he going to decide that this is time? He folds. Ben folds as well. Looks like Mike takes down the blinds.
Oh, yeah, here you go. Sorry. Getting ridiculous.
It's like Like we're having a little graphic error here. Let the dealer try to catch up with the action. It's like Mike C gets queens. It's kind of looking like he shoved all in here. It's like it got folded around to Mike in the big blind across from him. Mike versus Mike yet again. Although the graphics haven't caught up yet, we still don't know what he's thinking.
Or 8, right?
Oh, he folds. Mike picking up the blinds with pocket queens. It's like he was thinking with ace-7 offsuit. Blinds are now 5,000, 10,000 with a 10K big blind ante.
It is, yes, it is pure big blind.
These blinds are very expensive. I don't think we've seen this many players at the table with this at this blind level before. I think Ben makes it 25 to go. Second pot I think he's played all night. I think Jesse calls on the big blind with 4-2 offsuit. I think Ben was just trying to put some pressure on the small stacks. $65K in this pot. 2 7s and a 9. Jesse shoves it all in with 4 high, trying to steal this pot. Putting some pressure onto Ben.
1, 2, 3.
It's looking like he might think that this is his only chance to win this pot. I think Jesse's actually really thinking about this decision. Looks like he's trying to think of some possible hands that Jesse would be playing here. He is in the big blind.
How much?
40,000.
Jesse looking a little bit nervous.
Here we go. If you had something, why would you bet?
I think Ben's trying to talk himself into a call here. And he calls! Ben makes the correct call here with king high. The paired board, Jesse's going to show his 4-2. A fantastic call from Ben. Jesse's going to need some help. And he doesn't get there. Ben takes down the pot, eliminating Jesse in 7th place.
That was a hot day.
What a fantastic call from Ben.
Also, I'll make it on YouTube.
Yep.
Nice.
And he talked his way through it for you.
Jesse.
Termination.
Jesse. That hand eliminating him in 7th place.
Something.
You do what you gotta do.
I know it's to show that, man.
Ben now with 31% of the chips on the table, making him big stack.
That I should have quoted about.
287,000.
Maybe it was a donkey call, but I don't know. Thought that was a good call.
Drive safe. I imagine Snow's probably, most people probably don't have their winter
It's like Mark's got pocket aces.
They're like me.
It's slippery.
You're responsible one.
Alright.
Yeah, have a good one.
While we were getting here, he just hit the brakes. We didn't stop. We were like 15 meters before the stop sign. Hit brake. Like we were.
It's like Mark makes it 35K to go here with pocket aces. He's been making some very strange raises pre-flop and been showing them with like 10-3 and some terrible cards. Wonder if he's actually going to get the respect here. This is pretty much the situation he's probably been waiting for all night. Looks like he's just going to take down the blinds here, which isn't really bad anyway. Got himself 25K. We'll see our VPIP here. Mike C, 53%. Mark right beside him at 46%. The two loosest people at the table. Everyone else is sitting around 20%.
Yeah, well.
Big Stack Ben is firing out 25K. Queen 10. Mike's got pocket twos, but he's going to let it go. Deciding that it was too expensive. Looks like he's
Go for the rest or what?
might be waiting for a better spot. But Mark here,
If he was shuffling the thousands, I would call, but he's shuffling. He wants to get the win.
Got like nines, you don't want to fast.
Ben taking down the blinds there.
Snap fold.
Simon, king, queen offsuit. Limps in here for 10K. Seen quite a bit of limping on this final table. A little bit unusual. Guy with pocket tens. Min raises to 20. Should have just probably put it all in. So letting the players get off cheap to try to beat him in this pot. Ooh, but he spikes a 10 on the flop. Great flop for Guy. Simon's got king, queen offsuit. He's open-ended with two overs. Great hand for him.
Oh, sorry. 10 of spades, jack of hearts, 6 of clubs. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to do that.
I think Guy's going to slow play it a little bit.
5 of hearts.
Mike, 0% to win this pot. Nothing can help him. Simon's still open-ended here. Looks like he's going to finally put some chips in here. Makes it 35K. Looks like Guy puts his last 24K in.
24.
Maybe too many.
Just 24.
24?
Yeah, we're only two.
Somebody's gonna win. Flip them.
Alright.
All right, we got ourselves an all-in situation here. Simon looking for a 9 or an ace to win this pot. Doesn't get it. Guy, the short stack, doubles up again.
I just wanted to make sure it was a 10.
Oh, yeah.
We have seen these short stacks survive and survive in this tournament.
You don't have to, but
Guy putting him at 12 big blinds now.
when I
Don't feel bad.
Mike C, 7 big blinds, 73K.
Do you have any white ones in your stack too, or? I can't see any of them. Just the three. Okay.
Yep.
I just want to be able to see them.
Yep.
Looks like action's getting folded around to Guy here. Waiting for the graphics to catch up. Guy folds the queen 10. Mark shoves all in here with ace 5 suited. Mike with 10-9 suited of hearts. He quickly calls.
8 high.
10 high.
Uh-oh. Oh. Suited. 2. Uh-oh.
A great situation for Mike.
Oh, I looked at you and I thought you were going to.
Mark's going to need a little bit of help. Although it's a 60-40 here.
You never know.
Mike still ahead with the 10 high. Mark's going to need some help. He doesn't get there. Mike ends up doubling up. I don't think Mark is eliminated just yet. Mark's sitting down with 5 big blinds at 59K. Puts Mike C in second place with 166K. Blinds are still 5 and 10,000 with the 10,000 big blind ante. Very expensive for these short stacks. But they just keep doubling up. They're like a goddamn hemorrhoid. They won't go away.
Not the same, but the same suit.
Key here with king, queen suited. Looks like Mark attempts to make an all-in, but leaves 1,000 behind. Make it really annoying for these players.
How much?
58.
Hopefully our dealer doesn't get confused. We've already seen him make one mistake tonight.
You're halfway there.
Looking like Simon's going to make the call here with pocket nines. He's got the chips lined up.
Yeah, I call him.
Ben's going to let it go. Actions to Guy.
58,000 for that.
Really, Guy's got the best hand here.
I'll get him out on the flop. Don't put more than 3 cards.
No more than 3 cards out.
Oh no, because it's easy to like to roll it. Well no, because it's easy to
Yeah.
just run the board, right?
It is, yeah. Because, you know, I already did it.
Players needling the dealer a little bit. Guy hitting the best hand here with king,
Yeah, that's like saying
king, queen suited.
30, 40, 50.
It's actually not a terrible flop for Simon either.
Oh, no, he's not all in. He still has 1,000 bucks.
Just has to be worried about somebody holding a king or a better pocket pair.
He's in.
Everybody's on chips.
Action over there.
Actions to Simon here first. Looks like he checks. Curious to know what Guy's going to do here. There's 194K out there. 65K left in his stack. It's a great spot to get it all in. Here we go. Guy puts it all in. Mark quickly calls because, you know, he put in 99% of his stack. It's in rough shape, though. It's going to need runner.
5. So I got some kings, 6-5.
It's like Simon is thinking about making a call here. Got the chips in hand. It's got both players covered. Could get a double elimination here. Simon's in pretty bad shape. He's only running to a 9.
He's a makes it look good.
Even if I'm drawing down.
Such a fun way to look at it.
Simon shaking his head. Not impressed with the situation, but he puts it in anyway. It's drawn to a 9. Great spot for Guy. Pretty much going from short stack of the entirety of this final table to pretty much up to big stack.
Alright, so we have 9.
Jack in a 9.
3-way all in.
However many nines left.
Here we go. Go into the turn. Ooh, an 8's not a 9. Jack comes down. Guy ends up taking down this pot with a pair of kings and queen high.
Termination.
Mark ends up getting eliminated in 6th place. And we'll see that we put Guy in 1st place here. 35% of the chips at the table. But now we are on the money bubble. Top 4 pay. Looking like we had a big graphic error here. Blinds are now 6,000, 12,000 with a 6K big blind ante. They have the big blind ante has been now cut in half. Mike ends up folding the ace jack pre-flop. Two small stacks here. Mike and Simon going at it. Not a great flop for either player. Simon with the best hand with the pocket 7s. See if Mike's going to try to take a stab at the pot. Nope. Looks like he checks it over to Simon here. He's grabbing some chips. Looks like he puts chips in. Mike quickly folds. The other Mike's probably a little bit disgusted seeing that flop, considering he did fold the nut straight. All right, Mike C here. He's got King 10 offsuit. Looks like he limps in. Action's to Simon now. He's got Queen Jack suited. Looks like he's going to try to make something happen here. Makes it 35K to go. Action's to Guy now. Looks very interested in getting involved in this pot. Still don't know what he has, though. The graphics haven't caught up. He's got Ace-King. Flat calls Ace-King on the big blind. Action's to Mike now. It's like Mike calls. Going to a flop. 3 spades come down. Guy with the best hand. Also with the nut flush draw. Looks like it gets checked over to Simon here. Looks like he checks behind as well. 6 comes down. Helps nobody. See if Guy's going to take a stab at it. No, Guy's playing a little bit passive here. It's looking like Simon's grabbing some chips. Looks like he makes it 50K. Just below half the pot.
6 of hearts. Right, yeah.
See if Guy's gonna go to the river here. He does have the best hand. No, he lets it go. He's not gonna chase that spade. Mike had the king high flush draw as well. And he let it go. Neither of them like that paired board. See, Guy here is still first place in chips. Ben's in second. Simon's not far behind. But Mike and Mike are both pretty low. They're going to need some help. Action gets folded around to the blinds here. Mike is probably pretty happy to take that one down uncontested.
Oh, I don't need 3. I'll take it, take the best 2.
Actions to Ben now. Looks like he's going to get involved. Makes it 30. It's like Simon lets it go. Mike is calling with 10-8 suited here. 3 spades yet again. Ben with the only spade. Ben fires out the 20K continuation bet, takes down the pot. I imagine we're going to be seeing an all-in here soon. Both mics are getting very low in chips. Actions to Guy here. He's got ace-7 offsuit. He is the biggest stack of the table.
I think he got my chip from last round. Je sais l'amigo, j'avais des chips over ça.
He folds.
So t'as mis ton small blind, puis t'as moi aussi. Ouais.
Mike with 77K in his stack. He got queen 10 offsuit.
Je te trust. T'avais mis ton small blind, puis t'as moi aussi. Ouais.
Probably rather than why you put it.
Yeah. Probably. Because
I'll just call 12 and then 6 off to the side.
my turn.
Yes.
Actions to Ben now. Ace queen.
It's option to you.
I'm all in.
Call him.
An all in, and Mike quickly calls. He's not going to like this situation. Ben having him crushed with ace queen. Mike is going to need some help on this flop. Believe it or not, that's not terrible. There's the queen. No, but the ace plays.
Termination.
Ben ends up eliminating Mike on the bubble in 5th place.
Alright, Mike,
The bubble has now burst. We are now 4-handed.
Can you jump to 250?
Oh yeah, this is the money, eh? Yeah.
I'm big blind.
Congratulations to these players making the money on this
Yes.
all-out poker rebuy and add-on tournament.
250, 5, and then what's the one?
7:30, I think. We'll leave it.
Right, thank you.
Okay, so big blind. making-
Guy sitting here with ace-10 offsuit.
I'm gonna ask you something.
4-handed,
You
great
see the
hand.
little thing on that camera, it'll show like you'll just see something on that screen.
Okay.
Let me know.
Not my bald head.
No,
That's
no.
what I can see right now.
Call. Well, it's because it's getting to that point where I just gotta press recording and the card's gonna wait for a while. But
Well, that's something my gray hair is not any better.
Hey,
Action's getting folded around to Mike here on the big blind.
option.
Yeah, whatever. I go with that.
Guy was still the best hand with ace high.
King, 8 of hearts, 6 of spades, king of hearts.
Looks like Mike takes a stab at it. Throws out 15K. Guy folds. The best hand, may I mention. He had a great hand to float.
At the end of the day, this is the biggest it'll get. It won't get bigger than this.
Even if you lose, it's like a night out for $100.
Yeah. It's funner than it's funner here than like spending $100 downtown.
Yeah.
I mean, I say this in a one.
Actions to Mike now on the small blind. Looks like he just flat calls. Guy checks behind. We're going to see a flop.
One in.
Okay, so we got the queen of clubs, 8 of diamonds, 5 of hearts.
Looks like Mike has the best hand here with king high. Fires out 17K.
Sorry, I'm usually one better at counting chips. That's been weird.
Gee folds again.
Everybody's happy anyway.
Yeah.
Mike taking down that pot. And that sound means the blinds are now up 8,000, 16,000 with an 8,000 big blind ante. The price of poker is getting expensive. Mike is the shortest stack at this table and now below 10 big
Is
blinds.
this your first time here?
This is G's first
Oh,
time.
yeah, it's my first time here.
Yeah, the only person who's been here is Mike.
I know that.
Yeah, it was a new one.
I know, like, I was new last week, so really.
Talking about how all the players pretty much at this final table have been new to this game.
I just wish things were running a little bit more smoothly. I usually
We'd say it'd be beginner's luck making it to the final table and making it deep in this tournament, but these players have been playing great.
Somebody thinks that they can. No,
pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
honestly.
table is really nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah, thanks, we did that. So your big blind.
Action is to Ben here with 3-2 suited. Good old dirty diaper.
Yeah, sorry, blinds are up.
Looking like he doesn't want to get involved in that pot. Looks like Mike's gonna wait for a better situation. And looks like Guy ends up folding and Simon takes down that pot.
$40.
So yeah, it's a 40 bucks with him.
So it's 24, so 24.
Actions to Mike again. Another queen junk hand. Guy on the button. King 8 suited.
Saturdays.
He folds the button.
Saturdays usually
Gives it to Ben.
Time Saturdays.
Guy has had tons of opportunity here
Usually every
to
2 weeks. I try to
bully
change it
the
up
table
every once in a while. I'll,
in position,
Some days I'll run a cash.
but has decided to take the passive
$1
approach.
cash game with- Usually they end up hitting the 4 hour mark because, I mean, by the time it's like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, people are leaving, they're getting shorthanded. Because I don't replace the seats once people leave, so.
Guy folding the 8-5. Simon gets pocket 7s on the button.
Trying to get people to come here.
Makes it 45 to go.
Kind of why.
Ben folds, and now Mike is... Looks like he's contemplating it all in here. Decides that this is time. Ace-4 suited. He's got to get it in.
Set 104 plus.
Hope for the best.
is- Wait, what? Okay.
I'm small blind.
Simon is in
Was it 8?
a similar situation with his chip stack. He will be crushed if he loses this pot.
100? 104. Plus this.
Yeah, 104 plus.
128.
Fortunately, I think Simon's just going to have to put it in here.
100. 26. Good luck, boys.
Got ourselves an all-in situation.
Show.
Simon ahead 66%. Mike is at 34%.
Ace.
Mike manages to hit a 4. Ooh, the board pairs with the queen. Now a king gives him an out, but he does not end up getting there. And Mike
Termination.
gets eliminated in 4th place and gets $180.
No, it's good.
Simon ends up winning that pot and puts him into 2nd place in chips. Guy is now shortest stack at the table with 15 big blinds. 3-handed now.
Yep, yep.
Looks like we have a dead small blind.
So 18 and I give it, but the line is 8 and 16.
Ben here with 5-4 suited on the button.
Only 16 or 24.
Simon already folded under the gun.
Okay, I'll put 40.
Decimal.
Ben puts some pressure on, makes it 40K to go.
40, there's a fold.
Guy here with Queen 2.
Yeah, pretty much.
You only got 16 blind and there's an 8 and 8. 24 more to go.
Guy ends up letting it go. He's gonna pick a better spot.
Well, small 8.
Yeah, and then
That was good one. Yeah, good one.
Ben with the 10-7. Lets it go. Guy folds his small blind. Gives Simon a walk.
That would fuck up your thing.
No, I can move.
Sure. Adjust move over.
It's like Ben's just trying to make a little bit more space for him.
No, that's fine. No, it's not trouble.
Hold for me.
Just pause the line and pull.
Guy ends up folding around to Simon. Simon folds. Gives Ben a walk.
Designed is to basically kind of not force a rebuy, but
Simon here, 7-6 suited. On the button. See if he's going to try to take a stab at these blinds. 8 and 16K. Looks like he's kind of had a string bet there.
it's at 45, right?
Oh shit. Yep. Apologize.
Verbal is binding, sorry.
Yep.
That's what of course that's what it is.
I call.
Dealer laying down the law.
So
Verbal is binding. Guy finally playing a hand here. Ben and Guy getting involved in this pot. 140K in this pot. Going to a flop here. Ben hits a pair of twos. Simon hitting a great flop with a gut shot and a diamond draw. Makes it 60K. Ben with bottom pair makes the call. That's going to put Guy in a weird spot. But he lets it go. Queen comes down and doesn't help Simon at all. There's the pair of sixes for Simon. Giving Simon the check mark. Ben with bottom pair. Makes it 100K. Ben with sitting with the third best pair on the board. Relatively tough call. He's probably trying to think what kind of range of hands that Ben would be calling on the flop with. Imagine 3-2 probably isn't one of them. May just be thinking that he's beat with the pair of nines or a queens, but Simon lets go the best hand. Ben taking down a 363K pot. Giving Ben a 58% of the chips on the table, giving him a massive chip lead here. Pretty much a 2-to-1 chip lead over second place. Ben folds the button. Guy, king, queen, offsuit in the small blind. It's like he's grabbing some betting chips, makes it 50K. Putting some pressure onto Simon. Simon lets go the big blind. Guy is now on the button. Action is down to the blinds. Simon and Ben. Simon with king 7 offsuit.
45.
Puts some pressure onto Ben, makes it 45. Ben has Simon crushed with king jack offsuit. He makes the call.
45 total, right?
Okay, I'll just take that.
Looking at their chip stacks here, it's giving me a little bit of anxiety. They're all a mess and not in order. Certainly driving me nuts. But they both hit a king on that flop. The ace comes down, probably a little bit scary for both players. 5 doesn't help anybody. Simon looking to get the board to pair here for a split pot. Otherwise, Ben's jack is going to play. Ben fires out 60K. Simon's not going anywhere. He makes the call. The 5 comes down, pairs the board. Lucky for Simon, he shoves all in, putting some pressure onto Ben.
700.
137.
He's really sticking it to Ben here. A great card on the river for Simon to bluff at. That 5 completes a club draw. It also pairs the board, so a boat is also a possibility.
How much? Can you see how much?
An ace still has Ben beat. There's a lot of hands that beat him in this situation.
But, I mean, you want an exact count.
No. It's just how much.
I just like to know for sure, 'cause it could be wrong, right? So that's why
Simon relaxing in this all-in situation while the dealer fixes his chips. Ben folds. Simon avoiding a split pot, taking down this 355K hand. Certainly gives Simon a nice little boost. And he gets pocket kings on the button. Blinds are now 10K, 20K with a 10K big blind ante. Simon bumps it up to 55K. Ben calls with ace-5 offsuit. Guy also with ace-5 offsuit in the big blind. And he folds. It's not good for Ben. An ace and a 5 getting folded like that.
Sure.
Ben spikes a 5 though. Checks it over to Simon.
75.
Makes it 75. Ben splashes the pot. Ooh, and Ben nails that 5 on the turn. Unbelievable. Simon is going to be in big trouble here. Ben slow plays it. Ben suspecting something's going on. Really taking his time with this decision.
All in. Go.
Shoves all in, gets instant called by Ben. He's not going to like that news. He's searching for 2 kings left in the deck. He's got 2 outs. And it doesn't happen. Simon's kings get busted, losing a massive pot. Ben winning a massive 740K pot.
Termination.
Simon taking down 3rd place for $280.
We would have split 5.
We are now going into heads up.
No, I don't have much and you have a...
Ben has a 9-1 chip lead over Guy.
I can't do that, it's not nice.
Guy has really been buying his time in this heads up, folding most of his hands pre-flop.
All in.
We're only going to play the best of hands.
C'est ma pire.
Ben shoves all in on Guy. He calls here with
My best hand in the
Queen
last
7
5
offsuit.
times, so let's try it out.
Oh, well. Good luck,
Guy is super low stack. He's going to need some help.
4 and 5. There you go.
Oh, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Wow.
Ben hits open-ended.
No.
No, the queen ends up playing.
How much
Ben does not get there. Guy doubles up.
That was,
So
See Ben here, 902k. Even with Guy doubling up that hand, he still only has 108k. Guy's got a ways to go if he wants to win this tournament. He's got queen 6 offsuit now. He's kind of laughing at his situation. He knows he has to put it
I
in.
see myself on camera doing that.
No, but he folds.
On camera doing that.
it's a weird break.
Guy waiting for him hands again.
Third.
These blinds being 10 and 20k with the 10k big blind ante.
It's only.
They are very pricey for Guy.
So you,
Come back this.
Only 20? Okay.
if you're, I mean, you look like you were calling, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I didn't see raise. No, I didn't want to raise. It's not a raise. Yeah. That's what I.
We're actually going to play a flop here.
Yeah.
Guy with the best hand with 8 high.
Uh, 25.
Ben firing out 25, taking advantage of his big stack. Guy's gonna let it go.
That's a waste of my chips. I win a little bit and I lose. Now,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah.
It's a good, big federal government. It's fine.
Alright.
And you work for the people, so it's fine. It's not
Yeah.
like-
Ben with Jack 3 suited.
They're all in, eh?
Shoves all in on Guy. And Guy instant calls. King 5, a great spot for Guy.
Well, there you go. Well, that's the kind of card that.
Although we are just a 60-40 here.
4 big blind, yeah.
Ooh, and Ben spikes a jack. Guy is looking for one of the 3 kings left in the deck. He hits the 5.
There you go.
Guy ends up getting eliminated in second place.
Oh, yeah.
Ben ends up taking down this tournament
It's fine. It's a fun game.
with a first place finish.
Termination.
Guy ends up getting second place for $500.
First live
Fun game, man.
Ben ends up taking down first place for $700. His first time playing at this all-out poker rebuy and add-on tournament. He ends up coming home with a win. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Dave Frazier. Good night.
I'm just gonna call that. You'll send it.
What did you guys say it was 500, right?
5 and 7.
Yeah, 5 and 7. So I lost myself 3 bucks while saying that. But touch the income.
Live, no?
I think it would be.